units en route. Report of an active shooter at the National Guard. We're still getting further information. SO is en route. Again, reported multiple victims. Unknown location at this time on the victim. Active en route. Be advised, we do have one victim described as a DOA at the gate of the entrance to the guard. They're on location of one of the shooters. Room is on the west side of the building across from the bathroom. Standby to gather. Second floor shooter detained by civilian. Second floor shooter detained.
Going through the active shooter training is it's pretty intense. They try to make it very chaotic to make it mimic a real life situation as far as what an active shooter is actually going to be like. So it's, like I said, it's very intense for us, and we have to stay on top of it. Always have to be thinking on our feet.
What's it like to go through active shooter training? It is good and it's scary at the same time for me. Just because there's a lot going on. There's people running everywhere. You're trying to find a suspect or someone running, and also matching the description when through this kind of training, they're all running at you and you just don't know. So it's good. It's good. And at the same time, it's scary for me.
It's important for us these days because it's a new evolution in crime. It seems like the more you look on the news, the more you look, whether it be a business, a school, that they're happening on a daily basis across the nation, and for us to be informed and well trained in how to respond to them is very important for us. You know, the training and evolution of it has changed so much since Columbine in 1999 to the way we're doing things today. The more you stay on top of the current trends in crime, the better prepared you are to deal with it, and the safer the public's going to be.
And with the active shooter training and the active shooter scenarios that we go through, we are able to create that hectic, chaotic scene where you otherwise might not have that in a normal training situation. You never know when it's going to happen. You never know where it's going to happen, and you don't know what resources you're going to have available to you. So being ready to go at all times and being ready to go into a building and run after somebody that's actively killing people is important.
Go ahead. We're getting many calls reference injuries outside of the OTAC building on the north end near the smoking area. You have two patients, one with a chest wound, one with leg injury, and one out of consciousness.
When I'm going through this kind of training, there's moments where it feels real. There's some things that obviously don't, but there's sometimes they set up a scenario for us with, with casualties or evacuating people or engaging a shooter. They make that as close to real as possible. But some of the other stuff, it's obviously not real, but just going through the numbers, they make sure that it's not the first time that we encounter it in real life. It's the first time we encounter it in training.
We did use blanks during that scenario. It gives it a little more realistic effect, the sound, the noise, the smell of gunpowder in the air. It makes it more realistic, as well as hearing the echoing effect that rounds have inside of an enclosed building. It's hard to determine where the shooter's actually coming from because the echoing effect projects it in different areas.
It's smelling gunpowder and things like that in the air is why we do it with blanks and things like that to kind of give it that realistic effect. And I think that we do a pretty good job of creating it.
As far as me and the operators are on there, we take it serious. We all take it serious because we have to be on our ball. People are counting on us to go in there and take care of whatever the issue is. Like it's training because then you start seeing the actors that are in there, they're not taking it as serious. They're kind of walking around. And when you would know, and if it was a situation, actually active shooter, they'd be running and yelling and probably tugging on us just for help. And so that's where the training comes in.
X-ray 5, command. X-ray 5, go ahead. FD advisor en route. Copy.
The mindset that we build up for this training is just to be always ready. We may go through our entire careers and never face a situation like this. So there's several steps and things that we think about as far as arriving there safely, setting up a team to chase and catch the shooter, and then ultimately to eliminate the shooter. And one thing that our training program does that a lot of others leave out is what to do afterwards, as far as working with the fire department and the rescue task force to evacuate the injured and treat the injured. But that's one part of this training that I think is very important that we missed in a lot of other trainings.
It's very important for SWAT to train for like this because when it does happen, at least we are kind of somewhat prepared for it. We know how to react. We know how chaotic it's gonna be, and so we could train for stuff like that. and I think we need that'll be the best for the SWAT team to do.
If it ever happens, I'm ready for it.
Carson, copy. Second shooter detained on the second floor.